Justin Rodriguez here for Varsity845.com with Will Montgomery. We're here to discuss the boys and girls Section 9 basketball tournaments coming up. We'll talk about the teams to watch, the players to watch, and of course, the potential games to watch. I'm going to start off in Class AA, where of course the team to beat is Newburgh Free Academy, seeking its first title in 3 years. Newburgh 16-1, a 12-game winning streak as of today, Tuesday. Last loss coming to Scotia Glenville way back in December. We know how that team operates. Donovan Fields running the point, 18 points per game. In the middle, Slinky Jones, 14 points, 11 rebounds, coming back from that horrific leg injury last season. The team took a blow only a few weeks ago. Don Chevelle Nugent, just an excellent guard who's seemingly getting better and better, could shoot, took it to the hole. He was arrested, no longer with the team. Some people saw that as a weakness. Newburgh still the favorite and playing well since they lost Nugent. Another team to watch, the defending champion, Kingston. Team has done a wonderful job. Lost basically every starter but Pat Dorian, the sharpshooter. Great defensive intensity. And then you have the sophomore, Anthony Gaines, averaging 20 points inside. I still like Newburgh here. I think Kingston can give them a run. They're 0-2 against Newburgh. I was impressed that Newburgh beat Kingston up at Kate Walton Fieldhouse. I still like Newburgh to win the championship. Other teams to watch, Middletown, it is the Aaron Ray show, a 1,000-point scorer, 20 points per game. I think he needs someone to step up. Shaban Burton, junior point guard, playing well of late. Marlon Adams, another swingman type, has potential. Then you want to talk about Burke. Burke does have a win against Kingston. We know about the blowout in Newburgh, 95-32. I think they're a long shot. I think the key for Burke would obviously Mike Coffey, the sharpshooter, 23 points per game. He would have to get hot. Anthony Salmon, once with Newburgh, averaging 15 points. He would have to play well. And then Jack Dwyer, the steely experienced point guard, would have to play very well if they get that meeting with Newburgh, which, depending on the seeds, you could see a semifinal where Burke goes back into the Berg. That would be tricky. Will, tell me about Class AA and girls.
Class AA and girls, favorite this year is a favorite. Last year, Monroe Woodbury, they're 16-0. They really haven't played even any close games this year. Their closest game they played was against Kingston, 51-41. Other than that, they've been beating teams by an average final score of 62-33. So they've been winning. They've been making it look easy all year. Carrie McHugh, senior point guard, just averaging just about 20 points a game, and she has a lot of help. Monroe, they have 12 kids in the team, and all 11 kids in the bench, behind McHugh are normally getting in the games. They have a lot of depth, and that makes them a really tough team to beat because they have so many different matchup options that they can use against you, whether it's going big or going small. They can kind of find a way to play against most teams. So it really looks like Monroe Woodbury's tournament to lose this year. The one team that might give them some trouble is the team they played in the finals last year, Kingston. Again, that was the closest game Monroe has had this year. They played once during the regular season, 51-41, Monroe win. They play again on Thursday as the regular season winds down. So I'm going to predict another Monroe Woodbury Kingston final, and that should be a good game if it happens. So we'll see what happens. And I guess we'll throw it back over to Class A now.
Class A with Burke moving up to AA this season. Once again, wide open, always an exciting draw, a deep draw. You have Red Hook, who just about a week ago looked like the class of Class A. They lost to Marlboro, and they had blown Marlboro out earlier in the season. And then they lose to Saugerties in the Mahal semifinals. Saugerties, of course, with Patton Gibbs and Darnell Edge, one of the best 1-2 combos in Section 9. Don't forget Marlboro, playing a little better. Last year they won the B title. The year before, the A title. They're back in A. So you have those three teams. But the draw gets even deeper. Cornwall playing some very good basketball. Kevin Salas, sophomore forward, really coming on with some big performances. Don't forget about New Paltz. Maybe they've underachieved just a little bit this year, but they have some talented players, and they are dangerous. Goshen, Ian Shupp, Jason Ramirez, another great 1-2 combo. They have Cornwall later this week, so I think that'll be a big test for them, and we can see, where they go. As far as this, I really think I'm going to go with Red Hook. Like I said, this could be the toughest draw. I think Red Hook has Patty Parr running the point guard. When they're running, they're really tough to stop. Again, Marlboro, tough, feisty, proud. They're not going to go without a fight. And Sorority's playing very good basketball and one win away from their first Mahal title if they can beat Coleman Catholic on Thursday. So again, I'm going to take Red Hook, and that's going to be some final, whoever it is. I think it could be potentially, depending how the seeds pan out, another Red Hook Marlboro game. I covered that A championship 2 years ago. It's one of the best championship games as far as the play and the atmosphere with the fans that I've seen in a couple of years. What do you think in A for the girls, Will?
A for the girls sounds a lot like it is for the boys. It's going to be a very deep field. There's a lot of contenders. We'll start at the top with Wallkill. They're 16-0, ranked number 1 in the state. They'll be playing in the Mahal tournament on Wednesday. Tuesday's game's getting snowed out. They won the section last year. They returned 4 of their 5 starters. Very strong again. They have a great outside game with Chelsea Murphy and Rachel Simon. They can shoot the 3. You've got Heather Kechek as a center inside, so they're very balanced. They're very strong all around. They should be the number 1 seed and probably the favorites here, but there's a deep field behind them. You have a Cornwall team that's only lost twice all year. And again, Cornwall is always so well prepared, so balanced. They're going to play tough. Wallkill beat them in the Section 9 finals last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to Wallkill Cornwall again. But there are some other teams that could play a role here. The Red Hook girls have had another good season for them. They have Julianne Wilkinson, who scored a 1,000th point earlier this year. So she will be a force, and they play Wallkill on the Mahal semi, so that should be a good little playoff preview for both of those teams. Also, you got to throw in Goshen with Emma Weiss, another 1,000-point scorer. They've had a very good year. And Marlboro is up from Class B, so they will be contenders in the A bracket as well. But still, I think this one comes down to Wallkill and Cornwall. And even though Wallkill's the number 1 team in the state, undefeated, I think Cornwall can still give them a game if they wind up meeting in the finals. So with Class A wrapped up, we'll throw it back to Justin for the Class B boys.
Okay, B, I have 2 teams that you have to look at, obviously, Ellenville and O'Neill, James I. O'Neill, of course. Interesting here, I was just looking at our records. 1990 was the last time Ellenville won a Section 9 title. O'Neill won one in 1999. Ellenville coming off the heartbreaker. 5 overtimes they lost to Coleman in the Mahal semifinals. No shame in that loss at all. Ellenville is still a very good team. They have Dan Santiago, a guard, 13.5 points per game. Alan Martinez, a forward, 14 points per game. And then you have Dimitri Mann at point guard, 12.7, a really deep, unselfish team. O'Neill, they have perhaps one of the biggest breakout players of the year, Jefferson Espinal, a center, putting up 20-plus rebounds per game. Then they have some of their athletes, Malik Chambers, who you know from the football field, Malik Johnson, a very scrappy team. So those are the 2 teams to watch. But Class B has another tricky team in Spackenkill. Spackenkill with guard Justin Etz can fill it up like nobody's business. They have a win over Ellenville. They split, so they're going to be tough. Highland's going to be tough too. They're not going to go away easily. And then you have Millbrook. I still like an O'Neill-Ellenville final, and I know I talked about the A final a few years ago being very good. That could be an absolute battle. I'm going to give the slight edge, to O'Neill, which would win their first Section 9 championship since 1999. What do you think about girls Class B?
Well, girls Class B, we have Coleman Catholic again. Traditionally, they've been a Class D school. After winning 4 straight titles, Section 9 titles in Class D, they got moved up to Class C for a year. Won Class C, got moved up to Class B last year. They won that. They're back in B this year. They're 15-1. The only game they lost was against Our Lady of Lourdes, which is one of those AA powerhouses from Section 1, so you kind of have to take that one loss with a grain of salt. But Coleman Catholic reminds me a lot of Wallkill. They're good inside, they're good outside, well prepared. They have a couple kids who can come off the bench, so they're pretty heavy favorites here. Another team to watch would be Onteora. They're 12-4, but Onteora played Coleman during the regular season. Coleman beat them 66-29. They will meet again in the Mahal semifinals on Wednesday night. So that might be finals matchup that we see there. Other teams to watch in Class B, Millbrook is 12-4. They've had a very good year in the Mahal, but 3 of those 4 losses have come against Coleman and Onteora, so they're going to have a tough task in the B bracket. Burke Catholic is 7-0 in Division 4 in OCIAA, but they are 9-7 overall, and I'm just not quite sure how they stack up against some of these other teams in Class B, even though they have had a very good year in their division. And one last team to watch in Class B is Highland. They got off to a rough start in December, but they've really been coming on this month, and they could, play their way into the finals here if they get hot at the right time. But still, Class B looks like it's going to be Coleman Catholic's bracket to lose.